My dad was born in London and my mum was born in Belfast in Ireland, and she moved over to England the same time I moved over to the US. I grew up in a small town 50 miles just outside of London called Milton Keynes. It's famous for absolutely nothing except we have these concrete cows in one of the district in the town. They were the concrete cows, and everyone, if you told someone that you were from Milton Keynes, they would be like, oh yeah, the concrete cows. When I just turned 13, my dad, who works for a clinical drug trial company, found out that he was getting transferred to Southern California, and he was going to work at an office in Glendale and an office in San Diego. So that meant that me and my family had to move to somewhere in between, which is why we moved to Orange County. I went from this relatively small, cold, sad town. Actually, I can't talk about Milton Keynes that way, I love it, but I moved from there to Orange County in the summer of 2009. That fall, I went into 8th grade. My brother went into 7th grade. My sister went into her junior year of high school. I cried for days. I didn't want to go. And my sister was really excited to go. My brother kind of just didn't really care. I just didn't really have a choice. Yeah, I was excited, but then it's I got here, I had to make friends again. I remember my first day of 8th grade, I just didn't even want to go. I didn't want to go. I shit 4 times that morning. I just did not want to go. I didn't know the school or anything. We said the Pledge of Allegiance. I stood there because I didn't know what that was. Then I walked into my first class late and there was no more seats, and I was like, this is the worst day ever. I remember that day of 8th grade so clearly. That's the day that haunts me. I remember just trying to fit in, and I tried to convince my mum to let me buy True Religion jeans. Thank God she said no. It just worked out that in high school I actually made good friends. I started hanging out with one of my friends, who's now still one of my best friends, and I feel she kind of was the same as me, dressed the same, didn't give a fuck about how everyone else dressed, and I no longer was oh, I want to buy True Religions, and I want to do this, and I don't know, I used to go to church because my friends at the time, freshman year, went to church, and religion's big everywhere, but it was a big Christianity thing, and that was a whole different time in my life where I'm it's so not me. I applied for citizenship in March of last year, and then a few weeks later did fingerprints and photo and thing. Didn't hear anything until a few months ago when I had to go take my test. It's funny, I went home for Christmas and my mum and dad were studying for their test, and my mum had all these flashcards and she was studying and learning, and it was just stuff that I knew because I took history, and she didn't know those things. Half my test was civics and history, and the other half was an English test, which I still had to take. And I thought it was super easy. I had to read off the screen, who can vote? And then she said to me, you have to write down citizens can vote. So I had to write that.
Did you spell citizens right?
Yeah, I freaked out. That was the one thing. As soon as she said, okay, write citizens can vote, I was oh my God, how do you spell citizens? And then I said it to her afterwards and she was it's okay, we don't judge you on spelling. Not to sound cliche, but I don't think my home's there in England. I don't think my home is here. But I think here is where I'm most comfortable. So I guess I would say my home is here. But then I talk to my family and they're like, so when are you coming home? I'm like, never.